For you folks who are down front here, you obstruct my view of this beautiful audience. I mean, how could I see them? They're so gorgeous out there. I see you guys in the back. I see you there. Give us a wave. Give us some life. Give me some joy. Yes! Woo! I love what you're doing. The more energy you give us, the more energy you will get back. I can return it tenfold. Wow. I am so privileged to be here to introduce you to 7 absolute superheroes who are taking disability innovations and scaling them worldwide. This is not just an idea. This is something that is beyond just a wish or a promise. This is something that is actually taking hold, something where traction is occurring and where growth continues to inspire. I am so privileged and excited to get to work with these folks over the last 9 months, and they have some absolutely compelling stories that they're going to share with you today. So I'll ask you to please grab that seat, throw your attention to the folks at the front of the room, and let's get into it. Yes, let's give a round of applause. Now, I was trying to think of the word to describe how I feel about our first speaker, and the best thing I could come up with was to cherish, because I absolutely cherish what Yereli has done with CIDIP CDIP. Yereli, could you get us started with your story about CDIP, please? We can give her some encouragement. Yeah, give her a little bit of applause.
Thank you. I have a confession to make. In Mexico, my country, being born a woman is a great risk to your life and safety. About 10 women are murdered every day, and 7 out of 10 have experienced violence. Sadly, women with disability are not included in this data because they do not exist to the government and society. My name is Yereli Rolander. I am a co-founder of CIDIP. As a founder of CIDIP, have lived through violence. My blind mother was almost killed by my blind father. And then my mother entered in another abusive relationship in which I was sexually abused for over 10 years by my stepfather. Escaping this violence was impossible for us. We didn't know where to go. There was no specialist care, no accessible information. The system failed us, just as it failed thousands of women with disability and their families every day. As founders of CIDIP, many of us want to change this reality. We broke free from the violence we suffered and redefined our experience, generating to hope for other women and their families. This led us to create our organization with the mission to protect and empower women with disability. In 2019, CIDIP organized a workshop that revealed shocking stories of forced sterilization, abuse by doctors, and discrimination against mothers with disabilities. 100% of the participants had experienced gender-based violence at some point in their lives. This motivates us to develop a technological solution to protect them, which led to creation of the App Morada. App Morada is more than an application. It is an ecosystem that leverages technology and people to bridge the gap between women with disability and the support, care, and information they need. Importantly, the app was developed and tested with the active participation of women with different disability. Morada app helps women with experience violence by providing accessible support tailored to their needs. Rosie's stories is a great example of how App Morada can make a difference. A deaf woman who was beaten by her partner found help through the app. She accessed videos in Mexican Sign Language to understand the different types of violence, took a video-based test to identify the abuse, and made a video call in sign language to connect it with the appropriate authorities to report it and receive support. Now Rosie knows that she is not alone in the fight against violence. She has access to support and guidance anytime and anywhere, just like many other women with different disabilities. Since it launched in 2021, Morada app has helped more than 30,000 women, connecting them with vital resources. With the support of the UN, we have already expanded our work to 3 states in Mexico, demonstrating the effectiveness of the app. But our vision goes beyond Mexico, as we aim to help women across Latin America and beyond. The technology and model of Morada app are scalable and adaptable. We just need the right partnership to adapt the solution to each local context. To make this vision a reality, we need your help. Violence is not destiny for any woman, nor a legacy for her children. Together, we can break the circles of violence and build a future free from fear. If you are a founding organization or investor, this is your opportunity to make a real difference. Your investment will not just fund an app, it will help create a safe and accessible digital shelter for those who need it most. Contact us today and be part of this transformative movement. Together, we can make it happen.
Yereli, I am so happy that you kicked us off in this session because you are a role model for all of us on this stage. You are someone that we can all aspire to in terms of the impact that we will create with our work. And as a Scaling Solutions Fellow, this is the kind of work that we in this program look to help amplify, to help elevate, and help share around the world. So I'm grateful to hear your story. You honor all of us by sharing your journey. And the things that keep coming back to mind as you spoke were you're empathizing with those who've never felt empathy. You're creating visibility for those who are invisible. And you're humanizing those who have had their humanity stripped from them for their whole lives. And I think that's a profound and meaningful piece of work, and I'm just so privileged to be able to work with you. Thank you. We will turn, yes, we can give a round of applause, another round of applause for Yereli. Well deserving. I'd like to turn next to another dear colleague, Paula. Paula has done some phenomenal work with her company, Edudown. And when I think about Paula, the word that comes to mind is authentic. She brings her whole self to her work every day, and she brings her whole self to this stage to tell us more about Edudown. Paula, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anthony. I want to tell you, to all of us, my biggest mistake I made in Edudown. Once I asked a mother of a young boy with Down syndrome what she expects of her son, expecting a typical answer like, I expect my son to be working. But the answer that she gave me was heartbreaking. She told me, I hope he dies before me because nobody is going to protect him and take care of him like I do. So with this answer, I want to tell the thing that we do in Edudown. We want this fear that is real. Every parent with a person of intellectual disabilities care about what happened when they are gone. We try in Edudown that this fear disappear. We work with the families, we work with the children, and we give them free attention in health, education, and job placement. You can see in the presentation, we take care about 1,200 people with Down syndrome in 3 regions of Chile, in the north, in the south, in the capital. And we learn them how to walk, how to read, how to talk properly, and then we teach them how to work and how to be in a real job market. We support more than 40 companies in job inclusion, and we have a lot of challenge. This is the education program, and in the labor stage of Edudown, last year we could employ 70 people with intellectual disability. We have a difficulty in Chile that the access to health and to education is really, really expensive, and there is a huge gap between the person who paid and the one who cannot. So it's a social issue to give free attention, since they are really children, so they have more competition so when they want to go to work. We develop a circular economy, not only an ONG, we have our own business where we employ persons with intellectual disability. We have 2 inclusive cafes, we have a factory of food, and we provide corporate service to companies. We give corporative gift, volunteering of the work of the company in Edudown, and also we make catering that are inclusive. And the person with intellectual disability receive equal pay. To sum up, I invite you all of here to meet Edudown in social media, to meet our initiative. We need resources to finance the attention of a lot of children with Down syndrome. We have waiting lists, 150 children want to go inside Edudown. We are the only ONG that is free. And also we are open to make alliances in other countries and to make a change together. Thank you all.
Paula, I think one of the highlights of hearing you speak is the change that you're making. And the word change maker gets thrown around quite a bit. And sometimes, none of the folks in this room, but sometimes I'm at conferences and that word is misapplied. But here I think it applies very well because you're trying to change the most difficult thing, which is people's minds. It's a free change, but it's often the most challenging thing to change. You're changing people's expectations of what it is to be human. You're changing people's emotions from fear to joy. And you're changing people's idea of what support means to get someone to actively participate in employment. And that, to me, is absolutely inspired. I'm so grateful. And please, to reiterate, check out Edudown on social media, EDUDOWN. Take a second right now, open up your social media platform of choice, give them a follow, help build their following, help build their momentum and their awareness. We would owe you a debt of gratitude. Now, I'm really excited to introduce my next panelist because she hails from the same state in the US where I was born, the state of North Carolina. And so when we first met, I think that was the whole conversation was just, how are things, how are you doing, how is the work there? And since then, I've grown increasingly in admiration towards her and the work that she does in Equivalent. So Heather, if you could just take us through, I know it's very technical, but you've done such a great job to digest it into a story that everyone here can connect with.
Hello. Today, I'm going to show you the next generation of graphics. We are working on graphics that respond to dark mode, which is an important accessibility setting for people like myself with vision impairments and extreme sensitivity to light. Atos also did a study proving that dark mode saves a lot of energy. On average, dark mode saves 28% energy consumption and up to 63% of your mobile battery life. It is also preferred by 82% of the population, but less than 1% of all websites offer this basic experience. My name is Heather Neff, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Equivalent. I'm a middle-aged white woman with short blonde hair and blue eyes. At Equivalent, we're not just building technology. We are shaping the future where the internet itself will become inclusive and sustainable. Because it's time for a graphics revolution. Legacy image formats are inaccessible, inefficient, and completely outdated. They exclude people with disabilities, they load very slowly, and they use a lot of energy. Our solution was to create software that converts your images into intelligent, responsive code. We call them smart graphics because they respond instantly to all your personalized preferences and your device settings. They also feature our patent-pending IP that allows them to change to user-selected colors. We have an AI-powered platform that enables designers to easily create these code-based, accessible, lightweight, and legally compliant designs without needing any legal expertise or coding skills. Oops. Yes. So let me show you an example using our IP. On screen, I have the MIT website, which is displayed in light mode. When I turn on a contrast themes, which is an accessibility setting, dark transparent images completely disappear. This is ironically making the low vision user's experience so much worse. But with our smart tech applied, this dramatically enhances the perception of the image for millions of users. Our smart graphics load instantly and are responsive to screen sizes across desktop, tablet, and mobile, seamlessly adjusting to light mode, dark mode, and even custom colors. And this is all within a single file, which is animated and interactive. And this one's only 7 kilobytes, which is a tiny fraction of traditional image files, even though it offers so many variations and advanced features. We're engineering graphics to be just like web pages, with live, selectable, indexable, and fully keyboard navigable text. On mobile, they rearrange themselves so you no longer need to pinch and zoom, offering a much more accessible experience for everyone. They can contain metadata and are optimized for screen readers with custom reading orders and tab stops. Plus, using live text enables future AI-driven translation into any language. We offer automation for dark mode, color contrast, image descriptions, and file size optimization. You can design these smart, responsive images to create compliant brand assets at scale with our API. Our API can hook up to any image library or content management system. Coming soon, we have a free Figma plugin, but my favorite part about smart graphics is they work today with all browsers, mobile devices, and screen readers, and it's free for the end user. My team has top engineers, accessibility experts, and design professionals. We also have an amazing advisory board with executives from AudioEye, MIT, and Adobe. We are seeking beta testers and development partnerships. Please visit equivalentsvg.io or scan this QR code to watch demo videos or to book a meeting with me. Together, we can drive innovation to build a more inclusive, sustainable future, because everyone deserves an equivalent experience. Thank you so much.
Wow. Heather, I find your work just so cool. I don't know if that's nice or fun to say, but it's just so cool. Like, I cannot wait to be able to go load up a website and just see it transform before my eyes into the mode that I like. And I'm not low vision, but I love dark mode. I use it almost universally. And it's just something that helps me navigate. And if it helps me, it's going to help almost anyone. So I love that you've taken this on as a challenge, and you started off by saying, the future of graphics. And what I always remember is whenever the internet first came out, do you remember when we had dial-up modems and it made that like, that noise? And then you would load a graphic and it would just be line by line, so slowly, back and forth, back and forth. We don't want to go back to those days. Heather's giving us a chance to take this next step forward, the next generation of smart graphics. Brilliant work, Heather. I'm just absolutely in love with it. The other piece of work that finds a really warm place in my heart is by Aditi. Now, Aditi came up with this company called Gudgudee, and the word itself is so fun to pronounce, it just makes you smile immediately. But it came from very humble origins. So I want to turn the microphone over to Aditi. And Aditi, I want to hear your story. How did Gudgudee come about?
Thank you, Anthony. I'll start by admitting a mistake. My biggest mistake was thinking that children with special needs needed a separate place to play. When I was a student in 2011, a design student, I went to a special school, and I realized that the children there had never been outdoors to play. And that came as a shock to me because I can't imagine my childhood without play. And here is a set of children who would never go outdoors, never have friends, and never have fun. So as a design student, I thought I should do something about it. So I got to know a little more about it, and I got to know that there were two main reasons of why they did not go outdoors to play. One was inaccessible infrastructure, and second was the huge social stigma around disability. So when I got down to designing a playground, my first instinct was to make something safe, with seat belts, with ramps, with railings. But then I quickly realized that if I did that, it would make the playground even more exclusive for children with disabilities, and it will defeat the purpose altogether. I was stumped. I did not know what to do. And that's when I talked to occupational therapists, to physiotherapists, to educators, parents, children themselves, to learn two important things. One, that play is not a mindless activity. It is nature's way of developing their brain. And when children do that, they have obviously a lot of fun. And play goes beyond typical swings and slides. Play is just like blowing bubbles, or just observing shadows. It's as simple as that. And also that disability is not always visible. It's not always that you can see. It's not always about creating ramps. Armed with this knowledge, I created my first playground. And I can't tell you how fulfilling was that experience. To see children laugh, have fun, and enjoy on something that I created.
Yeah, let's give it up to
And I knew that I cannot stop at one. I had to do many more. I'm Aditi, and I'm from India, and I run a design firm called Gudgudee, where we design inclusive playgrounds for children. And do you know what Gudgudee means? It means tickling. And have you guys ever tried to tickle yourself? It's not as much fun, you know, but you always need a friend to tickle you and share your laughter. And that's what we do at Gudgudee. We always get everyone to share the joy and laughter. So imagine you were a 5-year-old on a wheelchair and you go outdoors to see this, where you can see the world in different colors. Or whisper your secrets to a friend through these telephone pipes. Or spin around in this merry-go-round with your parents and play hide and seek on this. So our vision is to make every neighborhood play area inclusive so that no child has to think where they'll go and play. Like cell phones these days, they come with a default camera. Same way, inclusion has to be a default setting in every playground that we have. And you know what? I'm done with inclusion being an afterthought. It needs to be embedded. And at Gudgudee, we make our playgrounds so attractive, so fun, so good-looking that everyone wants them. And so I want to flip the story. I want to make it desirable. And I sell my inclusive playgrounds to even those who do not care about inclusion. And let me tell you a secret. Do you know a leading real estate developer in India is selling his property using our playgrounds as his USP? So I would call that a big win. So let's make inclusion fun, let's make it default, and let's make it desirable. So if you are someone from Asia or Africa and want to tip the scales in favor of joy and inclusion, give me a high five.
Oh my gosh, Aditi, you make my cheeks hurt. I'm smiling so much. I don't know if you have had this same experience just listening to her, but the joy and the meaningfulness that you bring to your work is just plastered all over your face, and now it's plastered all over mine and in most of the audience. I find so much excitement in what you're doing. I'm a teacher, I'm a professor in addition to some other work that I get to do. And I always say, if you're laughing, you're learning. And I think the children on your playgrounds, they're playing, but they're also learning at the same time. They're learning how to interact with each other. They're becoming aware of issues around disability, and you're doing it in a way that is fun and that sparks happiness. I just find this brilliant. I realize now we're halfway through this panel and I've yet to introduce myself. So my name is Dr. Anthony GIANNOUMIS. In addition to being a professor, I also act as the CEO of a small startup in Norway called Inclusive Creation. And as part of that work, I get to sit on stage and help support these wonderful people as part of a program that, thank you, Yolanda. Thank you, oh my gosh. As part of a program that Zero Project has put together alongside partners in many different countries, focused specifically on taking ideas, innovations, pieces of work that have begun to get traction, have begun to start that growth process and help amplify them around the world. And this particular moment is the beginning of that journey, the journey we are taking together. So as each one of our fellows invites you to come, give them a high five, come shake their hand, and introduce yourself, because the work that we're doing here is so important to our future. whether that be in India, whether it be Latin America, or right here in Europe, or in Africa as well. Thank you so much again, Aditi. Now I want to turn to another dear colleague, Rob. Rob, you carry yourself with such poise, with such dignity, and the work that you're doing mirrors what Aditi is doing with the playgrounds that she's created, because it inspires joy, it inspires connection and meaningful relationships. So Rob, I would love for you to take us through, what is Happybots?
Thanks, Anthony. Yes, I'm Rob from Happybots. I will explain. But first, I want to take you from the playground of India to an average classroom in the Netherlands. There are 30 people, 30 children working on a task, calculating, doing writing stuff and that kind of thing. And suddenly, all at once, one boy is flipping, is going mad, is screaming. No one knows what happens. And the teacher tried to help, but takes 10 to 15 minutes to calm down. And then they're working again. The teacher asks a girl, can you do something? The girl runs away, try to hide, cries. The teacher goes after the girl, try to reach her, not possible. So this is an average classroom in the Netherlands. There are children, 2 to 3, 4 children with autism, with trauma, with other kind of incapability to communicate about their feelings, and they're stressing during the day. And suddenly they implode or they explode. It's not good. And that's the point where we thought that maybe a classroom needed an assistant. And maybe we can develop a robot that assists the teacher in the place, but also the child. And this solution is in here. And I wonder if you want to see it. And I want to see the hands. Oh, that's enough. If there were 20 hands, I wouldn't show. But now I will show. But first, this is not a prototype. This is a real thing in the Netherlands, in the classrooms. It is evidence-based. There are a lot of them. And we did some research, so I can show and tell with very... oh, okay. That's one. Look at this guy. He's a color. And it's in my hand, I'm holding a light bulb, blob kind of thing, 10 centimeters, and it changes colors when you turn on it. And a color is an emotion. And when you have an emotion like madness or when you're happy, you click on it and it winks. You see? It winks. And I am a little bit stressed, but not too much, and wink again. And a wink means, hey, I understand you. And the wink means another thing. The wink the color goes to a platform online, and there will be a calendar, like a Google Calendar in colors, and the colors are emotions. So a teacher or someone else, or a caregiver, can follow an emotional well-being of a girl or boy in the class, during the week, during the day, during months. And you see, this guy has no mouth. He doesn't speak language, he doesn't speak. It doesn't go with words. No mouth means no judgment. So he is friendly. He will be easy to work with. And children tell more easily to this robot how they're feeling. So this is what happens with Felix in a classroom. And we are a company, a startup in the Netherlands. We have already sold 250 of these robots in classrooms, and 60 schools and healthcare organizations are using it. And well, we need now some scale-up power because we get a lot of asks for projects and we can handle it ourselves. So we need to scale up a little bit. And if you could provide funding in any kind or doing project with us, we're happy to meet this day and tomorrow we are all here. Because we think every classroom needs an assistant like Felix, an assistant for the child and an assistant for the teacher. So every classroom needs one. We think that is a great thing to do, and we are happy if we can develop this thing. Thank you.
Wow. It's just awesome to see what you've done with such a minimalist design. And I think if you could turn that on to red, because I am absolutely in love with Felix and with the work that you've done. It's just brilliant. Yes, let's give them another round of applause. Okay. So cool. I just want to pick up on something you said, because a lot of times when we're on stage, you'll see really cool ideas, but you think to yourself, well, you know, it's a prototype, it's a one kind of thing. You know, we don't have many of these out in the market, but Rob's got 250 out today, and he can have double that tomorrow. Maybe not double, that's a lot of pressure. But with your help, we can get this into more hands, into the hands of more children and more people who can use it. So please, I expect to see a line of folks up with Rob, at least to check out Felix up close, because it's such a cool robot. Thank you so much, Rob. You are a rock star. Next, we turn to a company called Nayi, and we're turning to Prachi. Prachi is someone that when I hear her name, when I see her smile, my heart just grows twice as big, because the work that she does is so impassioned. It's so clearly something that she can't imagine any other thing in her future than to continue this journey. Prachi, please, give us the story of Nayi.
Have you ever wondered what it means to care for your loved one with disability all your life and plan for their care after you're gone? Let me introduce you to Krishna. Krishna is a young mother from a small town in India. She was very anxious about her child's development. She ran pillar to post in search of diagnosis. And when she finally got the diagnosis after 4 years of wait, before she could comprehend what it meant, she was duped by quacks in the name of cure. She has been frustrated going school after school only to be rejected admission. She provides round-the-clock care to her son with no support from family whatsoever. And then there are incessant remarks by neighbors and friends. She feels lonely with no one to vent out. Yet, I'm not speaking about the elephant in the room, which keeps her awake every night. What happens to my son after me? Developmental disabilities such as autism, Down syndrome are inherently complex, and the society we live in make it even harder. It is not just Krishna, but 31 million families in India who struggle and have no support. I dare say, globally, the healthcare system, the education system, the social system have done little to recognize caregivers and provide them with support. I'm Prachi, and I'm a sister to this handsome young man with Down syndrome. Handsome, yes. He has the most beautiful smile. Young, maybe he's 51 years old. Growing up with my beloved brother, I have closely seen his journey and journey of my parents and many of their friends. Inspired by him, inspired by my parents, I started Nayi. Nayi is a Hindi word which means new direction. So Nayi works as a lifelong partner for families, providing them with new direction for thousands of mothers like Krishna. Because I believe that families are not just the primary caregivers through their loved ones. They are the change makers who want their loved ones to reach their true potential. With Nayi Disha, we have created a support ecosystem for families with a three-pronged approach of inform, care, inform, connect, and empower. So a mother like Krishna can find information about her child's condition, understand what it means, find information about government schemes, find the right services in her town. She can connect to other families like her, learn from their experiences, and lean in for emotional support and not feel alone. Krishna feels empowered by attending parent training workshops. She can approach us on the helpline and meet wonderful counselors, social workers for her queries. On a side note, just last week my team told me that we feel Krishna is just a part of our team. In the past 10 years, we have created a thriving community of 62,000 families and reached 800,000 people through our digital platform. Over the years, I have seen the community grow beautifully with parents helping each other, comforting each other, starting new initiatives, starting collaboratives, creating new communities. For every one helpline call that we receive, there are 50 support calls that are answered by other parents. If there's one thing I have learned, it is the power of community. Keeping community at the center of the intervention, combining it with technology, makes it sustainable, scalable, and replicable. Without an ecosystem like Nayi Disha, Krishna would be alone, further isolated from the society. But today, Krishna not only helps her family, her son, but she's also able to support other families. So if you work in developmental disabilities, if you're passionate about caregivers, and if you believe in the power of community, let's talk. Let's see how we can create support systems for other families.
Prachi, it's so obvious how your love for your brother translated into the vision behind Nayi Disha. And I think that's a connection, that's a relationship that we can all see in our own lives. And we see ourselves in your story. So I thought that was just a beautiful, beautiful piece of work and a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for those of you in the audience to help Prachi create some change. Now, the next speaker, Yolanda, when I first met her, she says to me, Anthony, my company makes a cricket bar. And I thought I misheard her. I said, I'm sorry, did you say cricket bar? She said, Anthony, I use cricket flour to make a power bar, an energy bar. And my mind exploded, because I saw in front of me the connection between environmental sustainability, the future of food, and inclusion, which I just think is such a brilliant combination of impactful work. Yolanda, I cannot wait to hear about your journey.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Ready? Yeah. Let me tell you a secret. I born with disability. When I was 4 years old, the doctor tell my parents, go and take her to a special institute and have more children. Wow. My parents, fortunately, didn't listen it. Instead, they give me education, love, inspiration, motivation. I finished a professional career at the university, the best university I thought that was in Mexico. And when I was to my first interview, job interview, guess what? I arrived, and the man told me, oh, you have a very good CV, but I need a good image. What? I take a bath before I be here. My clothes are clean. What do you mean good imagine? Yes, I need a good legs. Oh, that's shocking me because I couldn't believe that all my effort through all the years of study was reduced to a good legs. The second interview, job interview, the girl told me, no, you can work, goodbye. What is happening? Single mother of 3 years old boy without money to give him a good life that not deserve a lot of work, a lot of study. And I feel down, depressed, very bad. Suddenly, a very wisdom man, my father told me, what happened with you? You are inspiration. You are motivation. What happened? You can create your own enterprise. And not only have a work for you, you can give work to everybody, to every disabled people that wants to get their life with dignity. Yes, Father, are you believe I can? Of course you can. That's why I exist, and now I am the CEO of Breath That Cares. We are a cooperative that create jobs for single mothers, all those people, and disabled people, through food and bakery. And yes, Anthony, we produced during the pandemic because before the pandemic, we were 20 jobs. Deaf, blind, intellectual, and motorists disabled people working in PanQAyuda. Breath, who cares? Saving the project, we were 3. And now are growing again. We are 10 now. And we produce, we research, innovate, and create the cricket bar, the cricket energy bar. Sustainability, healthy, and, well, if you want to sing, it's a good form. You are going to sing like a cricket, yes. And then we are waiting for you to cooperative to introduce you to your country, to distribute and create more jobs for disabled people. Thank you very much.
What an absolutely wonderful way of rounding out this panel. And Yolanda, you make my heart sing like a cricket. Ana Yolanda has brought us in some samples as well. So I would love it if everyone in the audience would come up, have a chat with her, get to meet the person behind the work, because these individuals on stage with me, I've gotten to work with them for 9 months. I know how awesome they are. I know the possibilities that they represent. but I want you to know them as well. Now, I reckon out there in the audience, there's an idea or two that deserves amplification. You might be sitting in your chair right now going, well, Anthony, I've got an interesting innovation at my fingertips. How can I take that and amplify it around the world? Well, you could be up on this stage next year. We are continuously looking for new work, new ideas to help accelerate, to help scale them in other countries. So please come talk to myself, talk to somebody from Zero Project so we can help find ways of elevating, amplifying your work. You guys are amazing. I'm not going to take any more time because I want to give you a chance to come up here and meet these fine folks. Thank you guys so much for your attention. You are awesome.